What's up, dude?
The sun goes down, that's when I can let it out. You can call me crazy, I call it fate. Transformation taking over me. From dusk till dawn, I'm digging my way up the grave. From dusk till dawn, I'm stealing my dreams in the breeze. From dusk till dawn, I got to live the waves. They've got a price to pay. From dusk till dawn, from dusk till dawn.
You want to close that blind behind you?
I said I was going to be like Ricky Bobby. It's like, what do I do with my hands?
Yeah, what do I do with the hands?
Oh, boy.
Cool.
Took Eric out of the chair.
So,
I did write some stuff down.
yeah, well, I can't look at everything I wrote down, so it's all going to be based off of memory.
Oh, yeah. Your phone's over there.
But I think I have an idea.
I didn't write nothing down.
Yeah.
I'm not prepared for
You
this.
can share my notes if you want.
Shit, I need glasses. I can't read that.
So I guess we could start off by what's new with Brandon. Anything crazy?
Well, I did. I got a whole bunch of hours on my bike recently, and with all those hours comes lots of broken parts. So even coming up to silver, I've just been hammering it. It feels like I'm breaking stuff, and it's a little stressful because like some shops are closed and then can't get the parts in time. So from this point on, I think it's like 4 or 5 days before silver. So I'm done riding. I'm gonna start fixing the bike, get it going, and stop from breaking stuff. So
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I mean, it's been a while, unfortunately, since we've done this podcast. It's been since before Odessa 100 because we did a podcast, but we didn't like it, so we canceled that. So we've done quite a few races since then. Odessa, you've done a lot. Unfortunately, I broke my wrist.
There's been like 5, I think 5 since Odessa, Bonners, Muddy Butt, Chuck Compton.
Yeah, there's been quite a few.
yeah,
And I've been jealous of all
they've
of
been
them.
super fun too. So
Yeah,
you'll
I
have
know.
a lot to look forward to next year.
I know. I feel like I'm gonna be really fat and out of shape when I get back into riding. It's gonna suck.
I might look good next to you.
I know, right?
That's always one way to think
I'm gonna
about
have
it.
to work. So no, I'm hoping to catch one in the fall. I'm really leaning towards that Lewiston race just because it's kind of like an easy race to get back into, start it up again. Not too much that would be too crazy.
How's the
It's super
mobility?
weak. So my fingers are like strong right now, but when I go to like close my wrist fully, it's super weak. Like I can't touch.
Almost looks like enough movement to work again.
Yeah, right.
He's like, nope.
Drew's asking me every day. He's like, "So, you gonna come back to work?"
How's you had that tendon like with the scar, right?
Yeah. So my scar is like growing to a tendon or something. I don't know, but it's a bunch of scar tissue in there, and my finger can't close fully. But I've been working it and messing with it, just trying to get it better. But aside from that, what we're gonna talk about Erik a little bit. This is Erik Krantz,
Boy,
and
howdy.
I want to know what got you into dirt biking because we've known each other for a long time. I mean,
5th grade.
yeah, a long time. So you were never into dirt biking then. I was kind of into dirt biking. I liked dirt biking, but I want to know what kind of
The
caught
only
the itch.
thing I rode back then was that it was a big wheel that you guys.
Oh, that Rokon, that
yeah.
when we were pulling each other on the snowboards.
Yeah. Well, like, so Chris and Tyler, just hanging out with them through high school, they always had bikes and they always went riding. So then I always wanted one growing up as a kid, but parents are always like, no, too expensive. And then got out of high school, got a job, and I was like, oh, I'm cool now. I got money.
Yeah.
So I bought a 92 DR 350 from Chris's dad for $500.
Money
and then
bags.
rode that thing, blew the compression release, went to the 2000 CR 250, and then finally went to the FC 350. But just them riding and then always wanting to, like growing up watching Supercross and stuff, like always had the want to ride, just never the ability to. And then buying my own bike from then on, and then I got on a nice bike, and now it's pushed me to go more and more. And then riding with you guys, like I want to go all the dang time.
I think that same way that you basically said, it's like the perfect way to like stick with it. When you get into it later in life, it seems like you're a little more like eager to stick with it versus a lot of guys that start young. They feel like they get burned out really quick. So
Yeah, I could see that.
same thing kind of happened with me. So
Yeah.
you get older and like you find a hobby that you're like, you see the old guys doing it, you're like, oh, I could do this for a long time. I'm just gonna stick with it. And like, but yeah, like when you're younger, you find all those other little hobbies that distract you from it. So now it's like, I got dirt bike riding, hunting. That's about snowmobiling. Those are like the three things. I got told I had the limit, so those three, those are my things.
I try to go snowmobiling with this guy, but I never managed to make it out there. So
Brandon can't hang with us.
Yeah.
Nope, just kidding.
Right.
I just break too much stuff.
Yeah, trying to jump or what?
No,
No,
Just break.
I just break it on the road, dude.
on the road last time we went, I think Brandon made it like 3 miles, and then he had one cylinder not working right. He's like running on one cylinder.
And that actually winded up being my reeds too.
Yep.
And which is ironically what might be wrong with my dirt bike right now too. So
Nice.
We just gotta get Forrest out there. next
yeah.
year.
I have a snowmobile I can take. I just
I
see
was
Brandon
trying.
breaking parts all the time, and
Hey, I went
avalanches scare me.
a
Yeah.
bunch. No broken parts.
Yeah. So I know you had that 350, and it was obviously a little bit older, and now you have that 300. As far as having a 4-stroke and a 2-stroke, you do a lot of enduro racing, like your Harry Scramble type stuff. Which
Yeah.
one do you think you prefer for that?
Honestly, like the Lewiston race, like the speed just kind of wide open, I would prefer a 4-stroke just because they have a little bit more of that instant power.
Yeah.
Where like the 300s, you got to build it up just a little. The 2-strokes got to build a little bit
Yeah.
to get into the power band. Like the 4-strokes, like it's instant torque.
Yeah.
But like anything St. Mary's or Bonners, anything with climbing or you're dealing with a bunch of people, you might have to take that different line.
Yeah.
Like the 2-stroke 300, I love that thing for that.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree. I've been trying to decide on another bike, and I'll probably get a 4-stroke. But I was also thinking of just like having a 300 2-stroke, and then more of like a race style 250 2-stroke.
Yeah.
Just because the bottom end is a little bit different, and I just like 2-strokes a lot. So having like a racy, preppy, like your YZ, the bottom end's really like
Those things are
aggressive
fast.
on those bikes. So I'll probably go with a 4-stroke, and I've been thinking about either a KTM 250 XCF or a YZ 250 the FX. But we got a KTM guy over here. So
if you went KTM, would you go TPI or TBI?
well, I don't know. Their 4-strokes they're not.
Oh, I guess if you go 4-stroke.
Yeah, they're
then
all
you'll-
their own fuel
Yeah.
injection system. I don't really know enough about 4-strokes to
Yeah.
really tell you. The last 4-stroke I had was a 2008 KTM 250 SXF, and I didn't know anything then. And that thing was an overheating pig, but I think it was mostly just because the SXF, and I was like trying to climb rocks with it, and it just
That was the 350. The 350 was Husqvarna's FC, which is their supercross bike.
yeah,
And like taking that thing, oh my God. First thing I did was put a fan on it. And
yeah,
because muddy, but like I lost my clutch the first year. Like I had no clutch lever. Clutch plates got too hot, and
yeah.
I was like, all
gosh.
right, well, we're getting a fan.
That's crazy.
But, yeah. It
So,
was
what races are you planning on doing for the fall? I mean,
for sure, Lewiston. They postponed the Johnson Mills XC. We're kind of waiting. Jake and I are waiting to see if when that one comes out. That one's, I think, in Orofino or just outside Orofino.
yeah,
So depending on when that one comes out, we might do that one. And then Airways is kind of always up in the air. whether
You gonna
we're
give
do
it a
or not.
crack at the Cowboy Cross?
Yeah.
I've thought about it. I keep watching your video and I'm like,
Oh, that's why it has 60,000 views. This guy over here.
That'd be so cool.
it looks fun. And like, obviously I probably be in a lower class, but
Yeah, I think that's the one that makes me the most jealous of not being able to ride right now because I wanted to do that one so bad.
when's that one at?
Not like Silver Mountain or nothing.
No, of course Silver Mountain, but
Do you know when that one's at?
September 30th.
30th.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And it's like, that one's like I don't know. I feel like it was good for like me never doing enduro cross before. It was like a perfect entry level enduro cross. It wasn't too crazy. They have like multiple lines. So they have like your amateur classes on the same course. And then they have like pro lines and stuff. They'll move like hay bales around to funnel people the right direction.
You gonna race pro this year?
No way, dude.
What classes do they have again?
They had amateur, expert, and pro, I think.
But you'll race expert at least, right?
Yeah, if I can get good practice in.
No,
I don't know.
No excuse.
Expert.
You have to be able to practice that kind of stuff, and you need like
You've been building an enduro cross track for like 8 months.
building precisely,
I mean,
not
he has
riding
to take
it.
time off because he keeps cutting himself.
And he has plenty of friends that'll let him ride on their tracks, and he knows it.
Well,
He's just got to ask.
We gotta go. So you gotta be able to practice it. That's all.
That's kind of where I'm at.
If you don't have any practice, then I don't know. That's like it's a really hard, like, I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for is, but yeah, I don't know.
Dead silence.
Yeah.
So I think you need to push yourself. And I guess that's just me being on the outside. I'm a lot slower rider than you are.
Well, I know I can push myself. I'm looking for the word I was looking for was discipline. It's a different discipline of riding.
Yeah.
So, but
like Bonner's, you went up to pro. And
that's
like,
because they were paying out to 10th place.
Yeah.
All I had to do was like show
done
up.
as great as you would have like in A, but I feel like you'd push.
Oh, he would have
Made
won
yourself
A
way
for
better.
sure. Like he would have had A by half a lap at Bonders.
Yeah.
Easy.
And I
So-
still made $75.
Yeah.
Got your money back.
Yep.
So yeah,
And it's always good. I just was curious how you could like place yourself with other riders of that level. So it is always good to like push yourself
yeah.
in a way.
I do think there was a few people you should have beat in pro class that you didn't beat.
Like Colton Haker.
Oh yeah. No, I can't remember their names right now. I just know that I've raced against a couple of those guys in regular enduro style stuff, and I guess maybe they're just way better at hard enduro. But
Yeah.
I feel like there was a couple guys that you definitely could have beat.
There was one obstacle in particular that
I don't know.
I can post it on the BigRock Instagram.
No,
but-
we'll post it in the video right here.
Oh my goodness. There was this one obstacle and it was just, I don't know, it was intimidating from my perspective at least. Obviously there was plenty of other people that got over it just
I
fine.
cleared it every
I was like, I
time.
know
That was
exactly
the
which one it
easiest
is.
obstacle for me.
I don't know, dude. It was, I felt like it, I don't know what it was about it, but I just couldn't get it down. And it, like, every single lap, it just brought up like a nightmare every time I got to it. And I was like, can I just go back to the steep hills instead of that? So,
Not to make you feel bad, when that race ended, I watched Colton Haker do that like 8 more times.
oh yeah,
Just
for
playing
fun.
on it.
Yeah.
He like gets done doing that. I'm like, okay, that's not fair.
Right? It's kind of crazy seeing what, I mean, obviously you see them watching YouTube or watching whatever, but actually racing at the same race or against him, essentially, it's kind of crazy. I mean, the dude lapped me quite a few times.
Puts it into perspective. Like you watch it on YouTube and then you go watch a local race and you're like, oh, like they look both pretty fast. But then you like actually go and watch it and you're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Those guys are booking it.
That race I raced really flat. That was the worst race. Since I've started racing dirt bikes, that was the worst race I've ever had. Unfortunately, I just raced flat. Even when it wasn't hard, I was just so, I guess, exhausted that I just was like not even going fast. So that was kind of frustrating to me. And I'm really excited to do that race again next year. I know that they said they were going to add harder stuff to it next year. But I'm really looking forward to that race just because I want to redeem myself on how I did there. I think I can do I was mid-pack and I think I need to be top of the pack, to be honest.
I'm a little bummed I didn't race A because your guys' track looked
It was super fun.
tough,
Like,
but fun.
yeah, I mean,
Like
there was a
ours
lot of people that still placed and only did one lap. But I think you would have really liked it. I don't think it was as hard as like that rock section. It
No,
really
that
wasn't.
was-
Like once you get through that, it's like the muddy butt essentially.
Well, and it was the same course that you guys were racing. So
Yeah.
They threw in like
They just threw in a
those
couple of
big,
hills.
the up and down hills you guys did.
Yeah,
We didn't do that.
and that turtle rock was stupid easy.
Yeah.
It looks big, but it's like nothing.
You got great traction up it.
Yeah.
Especially
So-
now that I got a moose.
You think you're
bit.
gonna do it next year?
Eh?
Yeah.
If
They
I,
might
if I
even
keep
be- No,
no, no,
riding,
no, no, no,
if
no.
I keep riding as much as I am, yeah.
I think
Okay.
you'll be able to do it.
They might even do it again in the fall.
I heard
They
about
did
that.
say
yeah.
that.
Really?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
said they might do it in the fall, but I think that was next year, not this year.
They're trying to do 2 a year. So
Yeah, Mountain Moto said they're going to put on an enduro cross next year too,
snap.
Oh,
locally.
you said Spokane, right?
Yeah,
that'd be good. We got to get everybody on board with that.
yeah, he's
We just need to pound them with messages.
right. Yeah, so if you're
Hold him to
seeing
it.
this, make sure you post on his Instagram or Facebook, enduro cross, enduro cross, enduro cross.
We're going to hope he just dreams about it at night.
Yeah, we need more local races. There's actually a group chat today, and they're talking about we need more enduro races. A lot of the races around here are desert or like motocross, supercross style races. We don't have many of the enduro races around here.
And dude, there's tons of guys that are into the enduro scene around here.
Yeah.
Like, so many people, I feel like.
I feel like it's almost bigger than like the supercross racing here. Enduro
yeah.
style.
Yeah. I just wish there was more local races so we could all be racing. I mean, there should be races every other weekend, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do
Seems
like
like-
the 5 in the spring and then there's nothing till fall.
Yeah. I get that it's dusty and fire hazard and stuff like that, but check for spark arresters. People are out riding anyways, so what's the difference? But so you're going to do some races in the fall. You mostly partner with Jake, right?
Yeah.
Are you planning on switching that up at all?
No, because I mean we're both progressing
Similar?
similar. Like there's spots that like the tight technical stuff. I'll be a little bit quicker than him,
Yeah.
but he's way more relaxed opening up the throttle than I am.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is opening up the throttle to me. I'm just like, do I need to?
Yeah.
But I could probably do way better in races if I just opened it up.
Yeah.
But so we, I mean, our lap times at races are pretty identical.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's good. I guess grow together. I do notice that a lot, actually. So as far as like if it's more open, I think that he takes the lead a little bit. But then when it gets more technical, I think you take the lead on that.
Yeah.
So that's
There's-
cool to have someone that's really close to you.
There is one thing that they've said about kind of how you were saying you might slow down in the more like fast open sections is brake late and brake hard.
Yeah.
So you want to be like all gas until the last minute and then brake really hard and basically just wait until you have to. That
This
way
guy breaks a lot of parts.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
But that way you're in those like straightaway sections, you're gaining speed or gaining minutes or seconds ahead of the other guy behind you who might just be coasting in that section. So
Yeah, that's one thing I do horribly is I brake too soon. I brake hard, but I brake too soon, and then I have to coast a little bit, and then I have to brake again. But yeah, so I think that's good that you and Jake are kind of the same level. I'm probably gonna on the fall. I'll probably race against you at Lewiston just because I doubt I'll be partners with Brandon. I'm sure.
oh come on, man!
Yeah,
now
I
he's just hating on me.
No.
Hey, you
I
took
just-
him when he was injured. He's got to take you now, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, his injury was a little different. But we'll see. I know he's been enjoying, I guess it's a fall race too, so it's not like he's getting prepared for anything, but I know he's been enjoying racing A class or expert class or whatever.
Yeah.
I just don't know that I'll be in shape enough or prepared enough for that.
What'll be good
fall.
for you is Lewiston's like 10-minute laps.
Yeah.
11-minute laps.
Yeah.
So.
Because Fat Boy will be out of shape, dude.
Iron Man.
Right?
Ooh.
Yeah. Worst comes to worst, maybe. But Yeah, I don't know. Lincoln says he might want to race it.
Oh, there you go.
So that'd be good. I think we'd be pretty even at that point. So,
You said he hurt his knee again.
yeah, I think he did tear his ACL again. But I don't know. Who knows?
Hey, those guys in motocross ride through it. He can ride through it.
Yeah.
Dude, back when we were doing the other podcast, I had wrote notes down on my phone. And one of them was, what's the most recent dirt bike accident? And how did you handle it or heal from it? I don't know.
All right.
So
We'll talk about that. Yeah. So how I broke my wrist. We'll talk about that. So we went on an afternoon ride like normal. I mean, we were riding a couple times a week at this point, and we went out to Liberty Lake, our local ORV park, and we just got ready, normal. Brandon and I are there first. We're waiting for a big group of riders like Hadley and some other guys that I hadn't ridden with before. But Brandon's like, you want to check out my loop? Let's check it out. It's kind of a little hard enduro loop. I'm like, yeah, sure. So we're cold, and we just start riding this loop. And we get up on this, like, rock edge, and we're just side hilling it. It's nothing crazy, nothing that I hadn't done a million times before. Well, I come across this trail, and I was just being timid. And what happens when you're timid is every time you don't commit to something is usually when you fail. So I've learned that you have to commit 100%. If you're 98%, you're probably not going to make it. So I was 98%, and it was on a stupid side hill. Like, that wasn't anything crazy. There's just a little ledge. And, I mean, by little, I just fell down the rocks. But I had slid out. My front end had slid out, and I had, like, reached to try and, like, slide back on my bike. And I don't know what happened, whether my bike, like, hit a rock or it like, started to flip. And I reached for a branch, extended myself, branch snapped, and I was extended. And how far do you think I was from my bike when I finally landed?
He was like 20 or 30 feet away from his bike.
I don't know how that happened, but I just caught my hand on a rock, and it folded completely back over. I could feel my finger just stretch and touch my arm. And I got up, and I was in pain. It wasn't
You
like
were
I
pretty
was
calm. I didn't think anything of it, except for the fact that you were just. I've never seen you like hold your wrist or any part of you when you get like hurt per se or like fall down. Never seen you do anything like that. So I was like, this is not a good time.
Yeah, I could see him looking at me, and I was like, just more like, this really hurts. Like, I get the stretching feeling, and obviously I was like, okay, I'm gonna be done for the day just because my finger's gonna swell up and I'm not gonna be able to pull in my clutch. But I didn't think like broken right away. And I'm like, hey, Brandon, my bike's upside down right now. Can you help me? I'm like, I think I might have broke my wrist. Like, it's possible. And Ashley had dropped me off. Like, I was like, yeah, drop me off, pick me up later or whatever. We'll just like figure it out. I'm gonna go ride, and it's another day. And I had sat down by the truck, I don't know, probably half an hour waiting for her to come. And I'm like, I think I broke my wrist. She's like, I don't think you broke your wrist. You're not acting like you broke your wrist. I'm like, I can't move it, and it's swelling up. So we might as well go get x-rays. And so I go to Providence, and I'm like, hey, I think I broke my wrist. I just want to get x-rays. And they're like, all right. And the nurse comes in, and I'm like, is it weird that like I can't feel my hand right now? And she's like, what do you mean you can't feel it? I'm like, I can't feel it. Like, there's no feeling. And she's like, hold on 1 second. The doctor comes in, and he's like, yeah, you need to go to the hospital. We can't deal with this. So I go to the hospital, and I get in, and I'm sitting there for a while. And they're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I think I broke my wrist. He's like, you serious? I'm like, I think so.
No.
Like, I haven't had an x-ray yet, so I don't know. And I'm like sitting there. I sit there for an hour or so. There's a bunch of people in the hospital, and I get in, and they all hear that it's a dirt bike. I'm still in all my dirt bike gear. They're like, come in. They're like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I just think I broke my wrist. They're like, I was hoping it was more than that. I'm like, what, do you think I was dead? But finally they get me an x-ray. And they're like, all right, we'll get you back there. And that was the fastest. Like, as soon as they must have got my results back, they're like, all right, we need to get this guy like figured out or something. He comes in, he's like, the surgeon's on his way. I'm like, the surgeon? And he's like, yeah, we got to have emergency surgery. Because what had happened was I had broke my wrist, and there's a bunch of bones in your hand, and one's called like the prelunate or lunate something. I don't know. But it had flipped up into my hand and cut off all of my like feeling or nerves or something in my hand. I don't know exactly. Obviously the doctor would know more than me. But like my fingers were turning purple and everything like that. And I couldn't feel my fingers. And he's like, you'll lose everything if we don't get into surgery. And he's like trying to explain it to me. Like, I don't want to do surgery. Like, I'm like, dude, no, I'll sign the paperwork. Let's get this done so I don't lose all my feeling.
I think you're talking about losing your fingers.
Yeah. So we got into surgery, and I woke up and I could feel everything. It was just fine. I have, I think, 6 pins, 2 screws, and so I'll be in a cast for like 10 weeks total, and then I get my pins out on the 26th. But it's kind of wild. Like, you don't think that that's gonna ever happen. Like, you're out riding, you always hear about people getting hurt, but you're like, that's not gonna happen to me. And I really have started to think about since then, with Tyler hurting his foot. He hurt his foot at the beginning of the race. I really think that it is very important to warm up before you ride, because we were 2-3 minutes into riding and I got hurt. But I have crashed so much harder than that. It's not even funny. But I'm always warm. So I wonder if that affected me, just not being limber. Yeah. Obviously, it folded pretty good, so who knows? But I do wonder if being warm would have helped that scenario.
Yeah, because Tyler's was in the first 75 yards of the race.
Yep.
And his wasn't even anything like, I mean, his was bad. Like, he got mauled by a bike.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did you break the bone in your foot?
I don't get that either. Like, I was wondering.
Yeah.
But I know people that have broken toes in dirt bike boots.
Dang.
And that's always pretty wild. I mean, you do hit some pretty hard stuff every once in a while, though.
Yeah.
So, have you broken any bones before?
Not riding, but, I mean, I broke my pinky, wrist, and teeth.
Yeah.
But not riding on any of them.
That's usually how it is. You always, you wait till you break something, then you buy the protection gear after, right?
Right.
Knee guards. Like, I've slammed my knee into my handlebars, and, like, my kneecap's still not right. Right
Same.
after that, like, next week, knee guards.
Yeah.
Purchased.
He wore nothing when he first started riding. I was like,
dog.
what are you doing, dude? Like,
And,
his hiking boots and his no knee guards. And he's like, I just don't like the look of them.
Now I think they look weird without them, because all the pants are like extra big around the knees to fit the knee guards.
Yeah.
So,
But I did talk to Cody Webb like a week or two ago, and he had the exact same wrist injury as me, like down to the lunate bone, everything. And he gave me some encouraging, like, not advice, but it was very encouraging talking to him. He says it still feels like trash. So,
lovely.
that's not great. But, yeah, I'll heal up and I'll get back to riding.
Might feel like trash, but he's still out there killing it.
Yeah.
He got like 6th at Erzberg.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like,
Guy's a wild man.
He's tall.
Dude, I am super...
Forrest isn't quite as tall.
Yeah, that's going to affect everything. I'm super stoked for Billy Bolt to be at Silver.
Yeah, that's gonna
is
be
he going to
so
be? He's there?
Yep.
So is Alfredo Gomez.
Yeah.
He'll be there
Is he?
too.
A little bit of Alfredo sauce showing up.
That'll be cool. That'll be fun to watch, like, Billy ride and those top tier guys.
Yeah.
Like, those guys are...
I can't wait for the street rhythm, dude. I'm
Yeah.
so excited for that.
Even watching Erzberg, like, you watch Tristan or, like, seeing Colton at Bonner's, and then, like, I was watching Erzberg, and I'm like, I saw his Haker in, like, 10th at one point, and I was like, oh, he's doing good. And then, like, I looked at the final results, and I think he did 26, which is still really good. I mean, that's out of 500 guys. But it, like, shows you, like, just the stages of progression in enduro riding. It, like, opened my eyes up like crazy. So...
Do you ever want to do Any hard enduro, or are you gonna mostly stick to just the enduro stuff?
Like hard enduro, as in
Would you ever consider silver? Obviously, silver has the different
Yeah.
classes.
I want to.
Yeah.
I just have to convince the wife to let me spend that much.
Yeah,
to
that's
enter
always
it.
hard.
I think it's gonna be worth it. I've never done it before, but I don't see how it's not gonna be like the most badass race there is
Yeah.
Yeah,
in the U.S.
I think it'll be worth it. So, I mean, you're spending around $300, right?
Yeah, well, $350. I gotta buy 2 gondola passes, even though I'm racing.
Yeah.
That
So
kinda stuff.
I think it'll be worth it, though. I mean, you got even as a spectator, there's tons to do.
Yep.
So, and it's in a cool area. I think it'll be really good.
It's cool for families riding the gondola up, and then you can hop on the chairlifts and go to different spots. It's
Yeah.
cool to get to see the mountain in the summertime.
I hope that their map is a little bit better this year, because we had the map last year, and we sat in that one spot because we didn't really know where to go,
Yeah.
even with the map. But I hope it's a little bit better. I heard they're partnering with Onyx.
Are they?
Yeah, so they might have the map on Onyx.
Oh,
To
that'd
look
be
that up.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though you don't have service up there.
Offline maps.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We could do that. So maybe we'll have to find out more about that. But I'm pretty sure I heard somewhere where they might be partnering with Onyx. Because I know that James Stearns is really into hunting, or at least it looks like the dude's shop is full of elk. So
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's where he got the Onyx connection.
I mean, it'd be smart. So many people have Onyx nowadays that you just upload a map, and then
Yeah.
anybody can go anywhere on the track.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. So with your bike issues, what happens if you can't figure it out?
We just buy a new one.
Where are you going to get one?
I haven't figured that part out yet, but I don't know. I was thinking about if I can't get it figured out, I might just try and go get a used TPI, like a new one off of Facebook, so that way the feel wouldn't be like super far off if I can't get a new one. But I'd be leaning towards a new one if I could find one, because like if you're gonna upgrade, you might as well get the new
Yeah.
everything, new closed cartridge forks and stuff. Sound really sweet. So
Did Coeur d'Alene Power Sports ever get back to you?
I don't think so, not yet. But I would also at the same time just be so worried about that. I've heard people like fouling plugs on the TBIs and just stuff like that. I wouldn't be too sure on like how that bike's gonna react if I've only rode it for say 2 hours before I would go and do a
Hard enduro.
hard enduro up on Silver Mountain too. So
Yeah, so your elevation's a little
Yeah.
funky too.
I turned the idle down on my bike a little bit, and that seems to help a little bit. But I don't know. I'm gonna pull it apart probably tomorrow, check the reeds and stuff, because I think there's just too much air getting into it, making it run too lean. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's super weird though. It's ran just fine for 400 hours plus. I've never even touched the
102 hours, actually.
102 and a half hours. And I've never touched the air screw, and I've never touched the idle screw at all. And so something obviously failed at some point for it to be causing all this weird running issues. I don't know. It was so bizarre. It took us hours of just adjusting the air screw and the idle screw. And it still idles really low now, but it's not like over revving. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think you need a Sherco.
Husky.
Yeah, right?
You watch Billy Bolt and tell me you don't want to buy a Husqvarna.
Well, because I'm going to be there one day
Yeah.
on my KTM.
That's really probably just a KTM with Husky
Yeah.
plastics on it. Dude, that would be so funny.
Dude, that's what Hadley was trying to get me to buy the other day. He's like, just go buy this Husky. There's a really cheap one over at Empire. He's like, you could get it super cheap. And I was like, yeah, but it's a Husky. And he's like, just put the KTM plastics on it. So same frame, just bolt up the KTM subframe, and then just run all KTM plastics.
There you go.
And radiators. Say KTM. My exhaust on
Are
the
the
inside.
Husky ones different?
Then what?
The
Like my radiators, the
Yeah.
actual things, like have the KTM
Oh,
model
yeah.
number, and like my silencer on my exhaust, KTM 250 XC model. Like it's got KTM all over it.
That's wild.
Yeah, well, it's a good business, so, or a good business,
Mine's so scratched
Feature.
up you can't see any model numbers on anything.
right? I heard you're going to try to cut yours down.
Yeah.
Shorty.
I'm going to try it. We'll see. I don't know if it's going to work or not.
Yeah.
It's going to suck if it doesn't work. I'm going to be like, now I got to buy a new one.
FMF.
Oh, I'll definitely get an FMF if
We
I
should
do.
make a video on that. Cutting it down, see how it sounds. I haven't seen too many Sherkos get cut down.
Yeah, I haven't either. That's what kind of worries me.
Yours is long.
World's first.
It is super long, and I wonder what it'll look like with a short one. But
Better.
yeah, probably.
You'll be able to cut all the dents out of it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do.
Well,
But so, what else? Well, we could talk about how does your wife feel about your dirt biking experiences? I'm always curious about. I'm always curious about this
Yes.
because of how my wife is, and she's very supportive of it in her own way. I know she really tries, but she's just not familiar with dirt biking. And
in a
stuff
way,
like
she's
that.
probably thrilled that you've been at home all this time.
She
right?
she is very happy. I've been at home, but yeah, just dirt biking multiple times a week and racing on the weekends can be hard for her. So I'm just curious as far as whatever.
It was so she's been like blows me away most of the time because I'll ask her within my mind, like the thought in my head, like she's gonna say no, not a big deal, and she'll 90% of the time says yes. I'm just like, all right, cool, we're going. And like first half of this year, up until we had our baby, I was going. Jake and I were going like twice a week, and she was good with that. You know, and when I was home, I was working at home, and she's like, you know, you go do your riding because she could see the eagerness in me to progress. So she's like, just go do it. It's your hobby, not an issue. Now that the baby's here, it's come back a little bit.
Yeah.
We're like once a week now.
Yeah.
I could probably push it out, but I don't want to push it. Like she lets me do what I want, so
Yeah.
why push it? Like.
For sure. That's awesome. And that's totally understandable with a newborn baby.
Yeah.
You're going to have to back down a little bit for sure.
But it's like all the races, I mean, she's missed, I think, between last year and this year. She hasn't missed one this year, even with the baby. Like, I think it was Muddy Butt.
Yeah.
10-day-old baby. She's sitting there trackside in the pits.
Yeah.
Got the baby in arms. And then,
That's sweet.
But like last year, I think she only missed like 2 races. Like she wants to be there. She wants to watch. And I'm like, you know, you can only see me for like 30 seconds each lap. She's like, that's okay. I'm like, cool. Come on. Like
That support's really cool.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I see Ashley's at most of them too. So,
Yeah, she is. She's starting to like it more for sure. I wasn't involved in dirt biking when we had first gotten together. So the fact that I'm just like in it, I'm like, I am in it. That now she's like, I guess, just weirded out a little bit by it's not normal, I guess. So, but she's starting to realize like, hey, this is a normal thing, and she's very involved. I would say we don't do as much of like her sports like we used to. I used to shoot bows all the time. So I do need to do a lot more of that just with her, because obviously that's something she likes to do. So we'll do that, but it's been a lot of dirt bikes lately, and it's fun. She's very supportive. I just was curious other people's relationships on how supportive they are.
Yeah, I've seen some people where like their wives are like, you can go, but you got to be home at this time.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you got 4 hours riding. Like, we better go now.
Yeah, for sure.
But we're not like Brandon. We don't like.
Yeah,
Pete,
shoot.
Yeah.
Pete texted me at like, I think it was like 10:30 last night. He's like, yeah, I just got done riding. And I'm like, Brandon, it's 10:30. Like, what are you doing?
That's like the 5th night in a row I've got home that late too from riding. Like my parents stopped charging me rent because I'm never home.
Yeah.
I think we all wish we could go as much as Brandon. But
I don't know. My bank account doesn't say that.
Well, I mean, aside from parts, what are you spending money on? Taco
Parts.
Bell? Parts?
Parts.
Fuel.
And more parts. Dude, dirt bikes are honestly pretty cheap to ride though if you don't break stuff. Like it doesn't cost much to fill them up. And I'm riding like local areas, so it's not like I'm driving super far. So
Yeah. And you got the Jetta most of the time.
yeah, which I haven't been taking just because I don't look as cool when I'm going to the trail. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but
like
then
to-
everybody looks at you if you're in the Jetta.
Yeah, but we don't need that.
Yeah, he's like when I'm going to all these off-trail riding places.
Yeah. I did not ride over there. As I'm like walking in carrying a chainsaw and marker tape.
I strictly ride on trail.
Yeah.
It's a trail I made, but
yeah.
I'm on trail.
It is a trail now.
We're talking about my property, by the way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I want to go up there and ride that. That looks fun.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I haven't even gone and seen it.
He's got a neighbor that's harassing me, so he kind of
I know.
scared me off of it. For
Did
a
you
little
hear
bit.
about that?
Yeah, he was telling me about it because I kept bugging him like, "Oh, I want to go up there. I want to go up there." And he's like, "Well, we're taking it slow right now."
Yeah, a guy went up there and was yelling at him to get off of his property while he was on my property.
Yeah. And he was like well on the forest property, like 30 yards on your property. And he was
Yeah.
yelling at me to get off his property.
I need
I
to
don't
go
know
talk
what-
to that guy.
Yeah.
But
For the most part, the endurocross track that we can ride is decently far away from that. And you got a whole hill in front of
Yeah.
it, in front of his house. So that's probably like the safest thing to ride if we're not trying to cause issues. But I don't know. If you
Yeah.
go talk to him, I don't think he'd be that.
he can't say anything.
No. And I think he's just confused where the property line is, honestly.
Yeah.
So
It's not like I'm going to go try and be an ass about it or anything. I'm just going to be like, hey, we need to have like a mutual agreement where this property line is because
Yeah.
not only does my map show it, you go on Zillow and it shows you
yeah.
exactly where we are at.
Yeah.
So we'll get that figured out though. But that track does look pretty sweet, whatever
Yeah.
you've built. So
Have some big
Lots
tires.
of Yeah, the tires would be cool, but we'd have to dispose of them when we're not allowed to ride on the property anymore. So
yeah, it's nice that it's just logs right now.
Yeah.
So,
they're pretty easy to just haul out of there. Firewood.
Yeah. So you guys are building the track at Tyler's, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We just picked up like a bed and a half of tires. We got one big one that we're going to do on end that you have to go up and over. And then we've got a couple smaller ones that we're going to lay flat and you have to do the run right through them. But we only have like 6 right now. So
Yeah.
it's
Dude.
about like a 4-foot run.
My dad just paid like $50 to go dump. Like we probably had like 15 to 20 tires, like trailer tires, razor tires, dirt bike tires.
There
If
it
I would have
is.
known,
You got rid of all your dirt bike tires?
yeah, all the old ones.
Dang, I should have thrown mine in that pile.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
got some dirt bike tires you can have if you need some dirt bike
Yeah.
tires.
Yeah, I don't know how we'll see how much his wife like lets us
Him do.
keep
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I'm like, Tyler, let's keep it just in the corner. That way when you guys build your house and stuff, she doesn't really see it a whole lot.
Yeah.
There you go.
Maybe she won't make us get rid of it. So
How's the one tire? You said there's one tire like up on edge.
we haven't filled in the sides with dirt yet because last time we went out, took the tires out, we got out there kind of late. So we didn't want to just work and work. So we just kind of putted around and stuff and we're trying to work in different lines.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't get time to dig and fill in the sides. So right now, like if you go and hit it, you're going to roll with it down the hill.
Yeah.
So, but it'll probably be like 3.5 feet out of the ground.
Okay.
So it'll be a good little step up. And then we want to try and get 1 or 2 more to where 2 guys can go at the same time.
Mm.
That'd be
so,
cool.
But
How big is this tire? Like a big old like front end loader tire or something?
yeah, it's probably 4.5 feet tall right now.
That'd be
So,
pretty
and it's
sweet.
probably 1.5 feet wide. So it's good for one person.
Yeah.
But if you could get 3, then you could probably pretty comfortably have 2 bikes go over on each end.
Cool.
You hear that? I
So-
think we're gonna have some endurocross races next year.
I
out
know.
there.
I think someone might have to do cowboy cross if he keeps it up.
Right? If I can get a track built and I can practice it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing is I've never really practiced it. So
That's what I was saying earlier. You gotta practice it. It's a
Yep.
unique discipline. So
Well, obviously you have to practice to be good at anything, but if you don't practice, I still think you should go do it.
we'll send it.
Yeah.
I mean, you've already done it. So
Yeah, that's what I said I'd do expert class.
Yeah.
I'll move up.
You got second last year,
Yeah.
right? And you also
From
got
dead
dead
last.
last on the start. So I think you should probably race a different class. But yeah, so as far as tips go, what are your tips and tricks you had?
I don't want to give them all away just yet.
Not all of them?
No. Just like one at a time. And I know a lot of people have been like, I wouldn't say they've been like coming to me asking about it, but like when they say something about it, I usually like will let them know. I just feel like there's been a bunch of people lately, but there's always like when you're changing a tire, if you do change it yourself with, mostly just moose bibs. I think for the most part, everybody's always kind of scared to do them at first because they hear it's really hard, and it's basically like putting in a fully inflated tube with your tire already on it. But first of all, if you start with the spoons that have like the curved end on them, those are going to help you oh gosh, here we go again. Those will help a lot. But so yeah, the curved spoons, and then when you're mounting it up, if you tend to use some kind of like lubrication just to help it like seat on there better. A lot of the times you mount your moose bib and you're gonna have like little gaps because the bead never seats up very well on it. So use some kind of lubricant to help put the tire onto the wheel. And then it's always that last section. I know you did this too, where you broke one of the wires pushing over that last section.
Yeah.
If you take either one of your spoons, I have 4 of the spoons, and that seems to be like the perfect amount. Usually I can do it with like 3, so you don't even need the 4th, but it's kind of nice sometimes because you can use that as basically on your opposite side of where you're finishing at. You want to stick that spoon in and like push the bead of the tire down into the center of the wheel, and that will allow you to like basically shift the tire over a little bit, and you can get the rest of the tire on. I had pretty good luck with like using a C-clamp and just basically like pinching both beads together, and that'll help suck it into the middle of the rim a little bit more as well. So both of those are things you can try, but they've seemed to help people that I've been telling that a lot. So
Yeah.
it might be a good thing to try if you are doing moose bibs and or struggling to get that last section over, because you don't want to break one of those wires. So
I did it.
Did you break a wire in yours as well?
I guess I don't know if we broke a wire, but we definitely tore the rubber off the bead.
Oh, yeah.
We had the 2 small spoons and one of the big curved spoons, and we were just reefing on it. And then like, because he came to the race later, and I was like, what? Like how? Because he made it seem so easy. I'm like, what's a tip? And that's exactly what he told me. And now I'm going to be flipping my tire around because it's starting to get rounded over. So I'm going to put it to the test.
yeah, it's worked pretty well for me. I haven't had any bad luck with it, so I've never broken a wire yet.
Dude,
I'd like to keep it that way.
I was doing it in my garage with that, but I guess it was with that Lucioli with the 2 rim locks built into it. But I snapped that wire and I about threw a tire iron through my freaking car window, dude. I was so mad.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. I ran 1 rim lock in my rear tire for the longest time, and like it always seemed like I had a little bit more wear on my moose bib than I should have, even though I was lubing it up, taking my tire off regularly and still lubing it up, just with like that cooling gel. And I would have to say the second rim lock, if you're not running it, I'd probably start, because it made a huge difference. Just prolonging the life of the moose bib, it seems like. So it just make sure the whole tire is like rock solid. I just put them opposite of each other. So I feel like that helped a lot too. But
Yeah, I think I have a second one in my rear as well. It's been a minute since I changed the tire.
Yeah.
So.
I won't talk about last weekend though, when I changed my tire. I forgot to tighten both rim locks. So I'm out there just ripping around doing like huge hill climbs, and I was like, dude, this tire sucks so bad. And halfway through the day, I was like, looked around and I was like, oh my God, I didn't even tighten either of my rim locks. So that was not helping my initial experience with that Tusk Talon tire one bit. But now that I've ran it for a little bit, I don't mind it. I think it'd be decent alternative to a JX8 when times are tough and you don't want to spend $100 on a tire every week. You can spend like the $50 on that one, and it does pretty good.
Do you think it would be good for like the more enduro style races that we're doing?
Absolutely not.
Really?
I wouldn't run it at a race. I think it's like a good practice tire. It's got the similar tread pattern as the JX8. I don't know. I just wouldn't want to trust it at a race. That's all.
Yeah, that sucks, because I definitely like I've had races where I put a JX8 on and it's trash by the end of the race.
It just doesn't seem like, even when it was brand new, like Hadley just put it on his bike and was out testing it, and it didn't seem like it was even all that much better. Like mine's bald now, like it's bad. Probably like maybe 10 to 15% left of the lifespan, and there was like sections where I was like, it was hard to tell if his tire was actually even hooking up better than mine still. Like I feel like it wasn't that great at the beginning. Maybe in like the loose loamy stuff it would be all right, just because it's got like pretty decent deep lugs on it. But I don't know, I think the dry season, like coming into summer and maybe early fall, it's gonna be good just to hook up on like the dry rocks and stuff. But like when in doubt, just run the JX8 for the race.
Right.
Yeah.
What about like Lewiston? Would you run it there?
I don't even know if I'd want to run it there. I just don't even know if I'd want to run it for a race.
I think I'm going to try that M5B.
The Evo?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, that thing looks sick, dude.
Yeah.
I got it on the front. I'd be curious to see what the rear's like.
I just heard you can't run a moose bib with it.
You can run a moose bib with anything.
That's what I was confused by. I'm like,
That makes sense.
it
I've
doesn't
got a
make
bunch
sense
of
to me.
chunks. You can stuff it in there.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of moose bibs and chunks, I think I'm going to drill out my soft one for silver.
Yeah. I don't see why not.
I'm going to try it. I might not drill it out as much as I did my hard moose bib, just because like I want it to last still a little bit at a time. But I'm going to probably do like holes every like 4 to 6 inches around it.
Dude, I must have been doing something wrong when I drilled my moose bibs out, because I burned up 2 drills. Like, they were smoking.
Jeez.
Lube.
Yeah. Well, I
Use
was
lots
using
of
that. I
lube.
was using that Murphy stuff,
Oh, yeah.
and I don't know. I don't know how I felt about it.
What's the weather supposed to be like for silver? Have you looked?
It's like Friday was supposed to be like kind of cloudy, but it's like 50 to 60, and then Saturday is going to be like perfect again, like right around 50s to 60s.
I was just curious.
Low of 50s, like high of 60s. So it'll be
how
60s.
wet it'll be up there.
Last year was like raining and
Last year
cold.
was
and-
wet.
I think the
Yeah.
dirt looked pretty good when I was looking on some of the stories and stuff. And you're high up in the mountains, so it's going to retain some moisture in the dirt for sure.
There's probably still a little bit of snow up there too.
Yeah.
We got hammered this year.
Yeah.
So
Fair point. So, all right. Well, I think that about wraps it up. Anything else you want to add?
go watch silver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to
If
the
you're,
mountain.
if you're
Super
here,
cool
go
race.
watch it. So you'll get to see some pros out there, Billy Bolt and Alfredo Gomez. That'd be sweet. And all the other guys that
Yeah,
are
I'll
in the
try and
US.
get this posted tomorrow, so it'll be
Okay.
Monday, and then races on Thursday, Friday, or Friday, Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, come watch it. It'll be sweet. All right.
Yeah.
Peace out.